Last time on Delightful Travelers, we introduced you to our new home in the Cyclades. We settled into Greek island living and we couldn't be happier with our decision. In this video, we'll be talking about what led us to choose Naxos and why we decided to move here for a while.
I'm Trevor, and this is Anna. In this series, we're finally experiencing one of our ultimate dreams, living in Greece. Make sure to hit subscribe and click the like button so you don't miss a single video. A huge thanks to our channel members and patrons for making these videos possible. This is our life in Greece.
I'm on my way now.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video here in beautiful Greece. Today we thought we'd talk about why. Why did we choose to come to Greece, and more specifically, an island in the middle of the Mediterranean?
Yes, we are on Naxos. If you watched our last video, you know that already. Also, if you've been following us for a long time, you probably know that we've been to Greece a couple of times in the past. We absolutely love it. It's definitely one of our favorite countries in the world, so it just made sense to come back to paradise. So for those of you that are watching us for the very first time, just a little bit of background for you. We've been traveling and making videos for years, but we finally started traveling full-time just a couple of months ago. Our goal was to go really, really slow. Didn't start off that way. We were actually moving every few days, but you know, you get really excited. But we came to Naxos to live for a while, figure out what it's like to be a local here.
So we're here in the month of October, so you guys might be wondering, where is everybody at? Well, it's shoulder season here. We planned to come this time of year, so it would be a lot quieter. But one thing about this place, Naxos, is it has great distractions around it, and we'll elaborate on that. So here's what I mean. Naxos has some pretty popular islands that are close by, which are huge tourist destinations. You have Santorini, I'm sure you all know what that is, and you also have Mykonos. So they attract most of the tourists. I'm not saying Naxos doesn't get tourists, it does. But typically, it's kind of a different kind of tourist. And right now, there's no one here, and we heard there's still lots of people on Santorini and Mykonos. Now, it's kind of like in Mexico where you have Cancun and Tulum. They are big distractions from places like Holbox, which is very close, a cute little island. If you haven't heard of it, you should visit that place. Also, in the Dominican Republic, you have Punta Cana, which is a huge tourist destination, but we spend our time in the North Coast, so we always seek out places just like this.
I love these streets here in Old Town because they're just so teeny tiny. There's obviously no cars up here. You can just walk and get lost, and it's not that big, so you don't really need to worry about getting lost. You're always going to find your way back, but there's all these little nooks and crannies.
The other thing we like about the Old Town here is there's no cars. You'll see the occasional scooter, but it's mostly just people. But there's a lot of stairs. We're climbing right now, and I'm out of breath. But yeah, these seem like they're just not gonna end. So this place looks really familiar to me.
Yeah, I purposely didn't go back and watch our old videos just because I kind of wanted to remember it on my own. But as we walk through here, it's little things are coming back. I kind of remember that wall over here. I think I remember this church, other little alleyways and stuff are starting to pop in my head. One thing we tried to be strategic about, especially for October, was where we're gonna go based on the weather. We were in Corfu before this, and we heard that October can be really rainy and it can start to get a little bit coolish. Here, since it's kind of in the middle, not too far from Athens, but starting to get a little bit south. It still stays warm. It's in the 20s. It's 22 today, but it can be very windy. It seems to come and go. There'll be, as my hair blows
just
around.
blowing around.
Yes. But you seem to get a few days of super calm and then 5 days of a lot of wind. Just how it is.
I think some of you would say this is the absolute perfect weather. I mean, 23 degrees and sun, it is kind of perfect. But for us, we could deal with it being a little warmer. Remember, we're used to the Caribbean temperatures, and this isn't quite that. So we're just coming into kind of the shopping zone, the old market, I think?
Yeah, I think this is maybe part of the old market or just outside of the old market. Something that we've definitely noticed here is how much has changed since the last time we were here. In the last video, we talked about restaurants and bars and cafes, but boutiques here are on a whole nother level than they were last time, for sure. So we travel with very, very, very little luggage and usually not much extra space. I've already bought a couple of things since I was here, including this and a dress, and I'm so tempted to buy more, but of course it means I have to get rid of stuff. One thing I do buy a lot of, and I think Trevor does here and there too, is jewelry, because of course that's easy to pack.
So by jewelry, Anna means bracelets are what I usually go for. I have been trying to find a necklace of some sort. I have a certain style that I'm looking for, but I can't find it anywhere in the world. I just want kind of a vertical rectangle and just all black. Something that you don't really notice. But I also don't know if I could even pull that off. Am I a necklace guy? I don't know.
We we have just come down to like the main port kind of boardwalk area close to the Temple of Apollo, which is super famous. Lots of beaches around, and that's definitely something that's super appealing to us about Naxos. Maybe today's not the best day for the beach.
There's some waves.
Now you can really see how windy it is.
Look at the waves back there. So that's not one of the beaches we would normally go to.
No, I think this side is always really wavy.
Yeah.
It's the other side that's a lot better and a lot calmer. Probably not so much today, but there are some beautiful beaches here on Naxos.
Yeah, if you look over here, you can see just how very little people there are. And yeah, there's a small little beach this way we'll show you. You can see a ferry over there too. Speaking of ferries, you can see one just came in here. So these happen daily. So you might be wondering, like, what if you want to get off the island? Like, what if you have island fever? We don't get island fever, so don't worry about that. But it's easy. There's ferries all the time. A lot of them go to Athens, which is a major city with a major international airport. So if we want to like fly back home, it's kind of quick. Or if we want to fly towards Asia, which we could do, we're kind of right in the middle. Also, there's an airport on the island too. We just came over to one of our favorite coffee shops. Here's the style of like a trendy cafe, which wasn't here before, but we're talking about why we're back in Greece. This is the real reason. Freddo cappuccinos.
The total reason is Freddo cappuccinos. These are actually the best iced coffee drink in the world, and you can't seem to get them outside of Greece. So basically, like, they whip the espresso and the milk, and it's super frothy, and you kind of mix it together. There's cinnamon on the top if you want it. It's so good.
We've talked about them before, and I'm just being a little tongue-in-cheek, but kind of honestly, we sort of came back for this.
We're actually just on our way back to the apartment that we've rented. We did give a full tour in the last video, but there's one thing that we didn't show you, which is a huge draw for us, being digital nomads, being full-time travelers, and having to work. So we'll show you that in a second.
So what she's talking about is the internet, and we sound really excited about that because we are. So when we travel, because we work online and we upload these videos, we need decent speeds, and you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked at how often we come across terrible internet. Here, we get about, I think usually it's about 20 megs down and about 10 megs up, which seems to be like most of the islands. So when we were in Corfu, we had such a terrible time trying to find good internet. All the places we stayed at, which were quite a few, had about a 5 to 10 megabits down, which sounds pretty good. I mean, for checking email, no problem, but it's the upload speed for us. It was like 0.05, which means we couldn't upload videos at all. It would actually take like 2 or 3 days to upload one of these videos. So we would kind of go in and out of different restaurants in that town and try to find some even half decent internet, which we did. We just go in with their laptops and eat lunch and try to upload off their Wi-Fi. So that sometimes we have to do that to make these videos. But when we have stable internet like we do right here for the entire month and a few weeks after that, like, this is awesome. This is exactly what we're looking for when we travel. Makes things a lot easier.
I think for now, we're probably gonna stop for a bit, do some work, maybe try to get some pool time in if we can. It's super windy out there, but that pool is perfect for just lounging. It doesn't get too windy there. And maybe we'll pick you up in a little bit. We're thinking about heading back into the main part of town and maybe trying to find a cool cocktail bar.
Well, check this out. It is now happy hour time and sunset hour, and this place we're at is beautiful. We're at a rooftop bar called 520, and we're looking out as the sun goes down over Paros in the background. And look at this drink that I got here. This is a Mai Tai drink, and it's in this cool little cup. It's like a kettle almost, or something that you would like water plants with. I better not tip that too much because it will come right out, but it's made with the local liqueur. I wanted some kind of a Greek cocktail, and Kitron is in here. So they said it's gonna be good. I'll try quickly. Can confirm, is very good, very beachy drink. I mean, this is like a super hot weather drink, which is not quite right now. The minute the sun goes down, it feels about 6, 7, 8 degrees cooler. So we put the prices on the screen already, and you guys are probably like, whoa, it's expensive. Well, we're paying for the view, but we're on a rooftop bar. So yeah, it's about 12, 14 euros. Canadian, it's probably about $16, $17. We don't do that very often. We just wanted to show you the options you can get here. Now, you can go at like the place we were at in the previous video and get a cocktail for about €6 and get something similar, or just a classic one like an Aperol Spritz. You can get a beer for cheaper, and you can even get wine, like a half-liter wine for €5. We're just trying to show you guys the different things. You can get really expensive cocktails here on rooftop, high-end rooftop patios, or you can go to the local places and get other things.
So I went for a drink that's a spritz, but not an Aperol Spritz. As you can probably tell from the color, this one has some vodka, elderflower, prosecco, and grapefruit. It's nice and refreshing, but not too like beachy. It's really, really good. Also, we got a little bit of a snack. We got a very, I guess, Greek or Naxian type snack. It is Naxian potatoes, so very local potatoes. You're gonna find those everywhere here. And one thing I really like about them is that they cut them differently wherever you go, so they're super fresh and very, very unique. They're covered also in Naxian Graviera cheese, I think it's called, and some
like
herbs. But Naxos is also really, really well known for cheese. So if you go to any like local restaurants here, you're gonna see all sorts of different local cheeses. Very,
It's almost like Canadian poutine without the gravy.
It's almost like poutine, but with different cheese and no gravy. One thing we're loving about Naxos, and I find this about Greece in general, is that there is an abundance of different types of food. So there's lots of different types of Greek foods, which is like a huge list in and of itself. You might think of it as being like souvlaki, but there's so many different types of Greek foods that you can get. But they also have lots of different things like pizza, of course. You can get pizza anywhere in the world, but they have some good pizzas here. There's some Asian food, a whole bunch of different things, which for us is a big seller. We cannot stay in one place for a month or two and be limited to very, very, like one type of food. Also, we find the servings pretty much everywhere are huge. We've been basically splitting mains everywhere we go, which saves us money, which is nice.
It's so cool. You can see another one of these ferries coming in, so there's still a lot of them happening at the moment. The back door comes down while they're docking, so it's really awesome to see. Now, we're talking about that we're in Naxos, in the main town here in Chora, but this island is pretty big. There's lots to do here. There's other towns. There's amazing beaches around as well. We're going to go off and explore some of those in upcoming videos, and there's even some mountains, and I don't know if we're going to hike the highest one or anything like that. Probably not, if you guys know us, but we're going to rent a car and go on a couple different missions. So there's a lot to this island. It's not just one tiny little place, and that was one of the big appealing things about coming here.
Okay, one more thing I want to touch on before we end this video, and we lose the light as well. But it's a little bit about culture shock, something you're not going to experience too much here in Greece. For us, oops, the light just came on. for us, not a big deal. I mean, we've been to almost 50 countries. We're used to being a little bit of culture shock, and we kind of enjoy it. But for people that maybe are watching this from Canada, US, different parts of the world, that maybe haven't done that much traveling, you're thinking about coming to Greece, but you might be a little bit nervous, like, do people speak English? Am I gonna feel out of my comfort zone? This is a great place to come. A lot of people speak English. I feel like you're just, in general, it's a good integration into Europe. You're not gonna feel too uncomfortable or be out of your element too much.
And we were also saying, if you're like a European and you're listening to what we're saying and you're thinking about coming to Greece, they'd be like, what are you even talking
Yes,
about?
I know.
This is great. It's easy.
Well, I hope you guys can see why we decided to move to Greece, move to Naxos for a couple months, maybe a few months, we'll see. We're just gonna max out those days we talked about that we get on our passport, but we also just wanted to end the video right here because look at the light behind us.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like this in person. It's
No,
even
it does
better
not.
in the camera. That doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, this is super cool. So yeah, this town, I hope you guys can tell that there's a lot that this island has to offer. Now, we didn't even leave the town yet, but just in general, all the amenities are here and we work for ourselves. So that's like priority one. That's
Yes.
step one.
Yes, but there's gonna be lots more videos coming from here. We'll probably like rent a car, maybe an ATV or
Yeah.
a quad bike or a
ATV.
what are they called? A buggy?
A buggy.
And like take it around the island, explore a little bit. I don't know. We'll
There-
see.
That's why we came here. There's just so much to do, and I think we're getting the point across to you guys. Now, if you got this far in the video, thank you for watching. It's Trevor and Anna, Delightful Travelers. Hit subscribe, click like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you ever wondered what it would be like to live on a Greek island.
Yes, I know. It's like everyone's fantasy, but we're getting to live it out in real life, which is
Awesome.
pretty amazing.
This is so cool. We were waiting for a while to do this, and here we are. Now, we have to also say a humongous thanks to our patrons and our YouTube channel members. You guys are the ones that help keep us on the road. There's a lot of you guys as of late, especially on the YouTube channel member front, and we just appreciate it. It helps, I don't know, it lets us know that you guys are really into the content, and it helps us stay on the road, honestly.
Yeah, and it knows that you guys like really appreciate what we do, and we love that.
Yeah, that just makes our day, because at the end of the day, it's just us talking to the camera.
To the camera, and it's great knowing that there's people on the other side of that watching
I mean,
us.
is there anybody on the other side? I think there is. We know it at this point. But again, guys, thank you. Lots more coming up from right here on this beautiful island.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Naxos, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.